video is dedicated to a good friend in the community, Effie Jr., who sadly passed away on the 14th of August 2016. And I don't know where you are at the moment, mate, but this is for you. Welcome friends, this is going to be a nice long video, so I hope you stick to the end and check out what we've got to offer. It's a bit windy today, so I apologise in advance if it's going to be a bit crap on the audio. There's nothing much I can do. What I'm doing in the meantime is trying to place the camera behind the trees to stop the wind, because it's just horrendous. Okay, now before we go any further, try something new. This is a Vanquish bag, which I've decided to put all of my camera and equipment etc. in here. Before I just used to carry it in my pockets and it's a bit of a chore. This is perfect. I'm using the Infantry Bergen MTP as currently issued to UK forces. I've just added some free Osprey water bottle pouches in the back, because in weather like this, it's humid and it's hot, you need to hydrate loads, okay? So we've got 3 litres of water, should be fine for what we're doing, okay? That's pretty much the intro. Let's go on with the rest of the show. Well, I'm going to try something different this time, where I'm going to be setting my camp. We're at the usual spot, as you probably noticed, and the Bergen there, I think the colour's quite good, with the blending obviously, which is nice. Okay, so there she is. Most of you have seen it by now. For the new subscribers, I decided to take her out. It's been a while, and I'm quite a fan of chopping and changing the kit, just rather than sticking to one all the time, okay? It just gets you used to actually learning more, rather than just, as I say, just relying on one bag and that's it. Check all sorts. As I said, I've got the 3 Osprey water bottle pouches on there. Incidentally, the pack itself is MTP, multi-terrain pattern. The side pouches are multicam. Now you could probably notice the difference. The multicam is slightly darker than the MTP. Okay. For this trip, we've got a new knife. That has been, well, it's been trialled in some jungles around the world, made by Dorset Woodland blades, and we've got Australian Special Forces units using these, and pretty soon Canadian too, as well as our British lads in Borneo, etc. So we're going to be trying out how effective this is in the British summertime. There's the sheath. It's pretty awesome. We've got no attachment pieces with this, it's just the bare basics. I've just been given this knife through trial, okay, and see what my thoughts are, and absolutely loving it. It's a beast, as you can see by the size. The handle is massive, so you get a proper good grip on it, especially the swell at the back. It's really nice in the hand, and it's very easy to go in and out the sheath, as you can see. Well, in between these side pockets, there's a tiny little pouch on the side of the Bergen itself, which it can anything can sit into. And we've got tensioning restraining straps along the side, so that will just travel no problem on the side like that. Okay, while we're on the subject of tools, we might as well quickly go over this one quick. Now this is going to be trialled by myself on behalf of Duncan at Dorset Woodland Blades. He's actually called this the Tactical Bushcrafter. Now for the Camo Pattern, that's just what was at hand. Obviously these are going to come in a multiple of different colours and designs. Now one thing I like about this is the weight. It's an absolute beauty. And he's decided to get funky with putting his logos on there. It's nicely swedged, as you can see on the top. Just been playing around basically. Obviously the scales, Texas G10. and that's about the size of her there. The jimping on the top's nice as well, it's not too aggressive, which is pretty cool. And the weight of it as well, it's very, very light, very agile, I tell, very agile. It's pretty much the same weight as the K-Bar USMC fighting knife, really. Very nice. So we're going to be trialing this today on this trip. Obviously it's razor sharp, so you've got to be very, very careful, very careful. And Duncan has got a bit of a reputation here in the UK for being one of the best sheath makers. Kydex is absolute legendary in the community anyway. So that's it. We're going to see how we got on with this nice new knife. Okay, so we just saw the knife. A quick look at the belt as well. This was so kindly gifted to me by Ron at Fox Company Prepping, and I absolutely love it. All the time I'm wearing my summer trousers at work, my desert combats, this lives on them. And for this outing, I'm using the lightweight issue British trousers. Perfect, works a good charm. The detailing work, I love it. It's really, really nice. And a new way of thinking. Every time I go out into the woods, I'm rocking this. Now, some of you guys have seen a video on this before. It's from Alpha Bushcraft. It's that special pouch which just fits, if you can see in there, the Altoids tin. Now, this particular one was made by a friend of mine, Colin Brown. Awesome survival tin. It goes with me every time I'm out in the woods now. So that is the bare basics. Last, it's survival kit and a knife, nothing else. Right, a bit strange this one. It's not like me to be a negative person, but what's happened is I've been trying to pick the spot where I'm going to be sleeping, and obviously you clear the ground first, and in the process of doing that it's become very, very quickly apparent that other people have been here and took the piss. It's something that people who do true wild camping endorse to the bone, and it's always leave no trace. Okay, now when I turned up here there was a few dead, beaten up branches just scattered on the floor, which looked out of place, and that's not a proper leave no trace policy. You don't just make a mess and throw a couple of twigs on top, you clear it properly. Okay, the worst thing for me is lots of broken glass from a beer bottle. Now I don't know if it's someone who watches my videos who think it's funny, but it's a hobgoblin beer cap. I always take my rubbish home with me, as you know. So I thought, okay, so I'll start looking for clues so I can know more about the people that are doing this. Now, if it is you, or you know someone who is doing this, all I can say is I really, really hope that I don't come down here and catch you doing it for your own safety. Alright, that's all I'm going to say. So what I've done is I've looked around and I've found a few clues to find out who we're dealing with. Okay, so we're by the stream, and as you can see I've thoroughly swept the area clear from where I'm going to be camping, because the last thing I'm going to do is to be putting inflatable mats with broken glass, and if it gets a bit hot I want to take my socks and shoes off, my boots off. Bare feet in this isn't a good idea, so I've done my best in clearing all that. So we've got remnants of tinfoil. This is just a small amount, by the way. I'm not going to get all of it out because it's probably about a carrier bag's worth. Alright, so we're going to put this down on the floor as we go through. Now I think it's important to do this. It just gives you an idea of what's been going on. Not sure what that is, but here we have Tesco's Basics, as you can see on there. So we're looking at someone who goes to Tesco's. We're looking at someone who's probably haven't got much money because it's from the Basics range. Not really sure what that is. We've got some food remnants of some packaging. Someone who smokes that, whatever the hell that is. I've got no idea where you can buy that stuff from. I've never heard of it. Whether it's English or is it from one of these German Lidl places, I don't know. I really don't know. So we put that down there. Someone who smokes. I've seen these here before, so I suspect it's the same people. Okay, let's keep coming back. They're obviously filter tips, look like Swan. Not sure what that is. I thought it was the chewing gum wrapper at first, but maybe it is. But it looks like Wrigley's, but a copy. I don't know if anyone knows what sort of packaging that is. It looks like a letter F. That sort of size for those chewing gum tablets. And last but not least, Tesco's firelighters. So rather than, you know, using flint and steel, etc., they're just using those cheap little firelighters you use for your barbecue or your wood burner, etc. So someone's come along and had a good old time and just left the place in an absolute gash. Now it just infuriates me, it really does. So rant over, I'm against all negativity and we just want to crack on with the video now. Okay, so before we press on, I've had questions before about this and I've showed it, but I'll show it again. If anyone's interested in what this pack is, that is the information that you're looking for, okay? Now the top long number is the NSN, the NATO stock number. The second number, which is 99, that code is for United Kingdom, and basically you type that code in and you can find out everything you want about this Bergen, alright? It's been on the market for a couple of years and so far it hasn't let me down. Okay, it hasn't been on any tools or hard used, but I've used it quite a bit and it stood up to it. It's a nice bit of kit. So there you go, that's for you guys who are interested in this Bergen. That is a super clean chop. Yeah, I like this. See, the thing with a lot of jungle machetes and prangs and stuff, they're not very heavy and they ping through stuff. You're working above head height. Something like this for proper shelter building, really. It's heavy, but look what happens. It's definitely up to the task. Quite impressed actually. Just minces for it like you wouldn't believe, which is always nice. Right, so that's worked out okay. We've got the Basha set up onto the floor, just to give us an idea of roughly what sort of footprint we're going to be using. The area of clear seems to be okay, which is nice because that little area down here is going to be a fire maybe, I'm guessing. Not sure yet, but we'll see how it evolves. And if you guys who haven't seen my video about the A-frame shelter, where I cook rabbit with a flint and steel, etc., this is the Basha. Alright. Now there's plenty of terms for this, and I'm still not sure what it is, but it's commonly referred to as an Australian Special Forces hooch Basha. Now, got this a long time ago, and I've just kept it in great nick, as I do with all of my kit. But this is one of my all-time favourite lightweight versatile Bashas. It's brilliant. You can see you've got like anchor points 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all the way across the middle, so you can put a ridge line or you can guide them out any way you want. You can turn it into any sort of tent you like, because we've got fastenings or pop studs all the way along. There's so many things you can do with these. The problem is they're bloody hard to find, unfortunately, and I have seen these go on eBay for over £70, which is over $100 US, but they are out there and you don't have to pay silly prices. Just love the way she bites so clean, you know. It'd probably be a bit easier if this was like knee height, sort of low level, but it is what it is, and we can get away with this. This is fine. Well, I'll tell you what, it probably will take some getting used to, because this is the first time I've ever used this, and it's like most things, you know, the more you use a particular tool, the more familiar and the more easy it is to use. Now, I'm not used to using knives which sweep back like this. It's very different, but as you say, practice makes perfect, so I think we're doing okay. Right, we've been a bit busy. We've got the shower set up. I've just been trying all sorts of different things, and it's turned out pretty good. It may not be best for wet weather conditions, so we're going to hope for the best. Now, we've got an interesting system that I've been playing around with. Obviously, with the amount of tie-out loops, I've just took the piss really. We've just been using some truckers hitches, my favourite. They've all gone to a central point, and obviously going up to the tree there. Now, it's worked out pretty good actually. I'm quite chuffed. It looks a bit zany, but they're all quick release. They're all hanked, as you can see, and it's just pull and collapse. Nice and easy to take down. Right, I do apologise about the wind. It's just ridiculous. It's really hard to film, to be honest. But we're going to crack on and see how we get on. Now, we just saw the back view. We're just pulling it all out to give myself a bit of space underneath. As you can see, it's not too bad at all in there. We've just gone through the top with the upright stakes. Again, truckers hitch. It's just a knot that I've just really grown to like to use, and it's very, very versatile. With these particular Bashas, they're not exactly straight, they sort of bow out either side, so there was a bit of a floppiness, if you know what I mean. So what I decided to do was to put the paracord through two of these and pull them down together over this stake. Now, I can, if I wanted to, make it a bit looser. There's another knot. I'll just unclip it and just move it back over so that piece ends up on there, and it's not as tight. But it just depends on the weather. But it just gives me a bit of protection from the wind and the rain if it comes in through this side. It goes up inside and then back down. The floors will be swept out nice and clean. As I was going through it a second time, I did find a few more pieces of broken glass, which isn't very nice. And check this wind out. Yes, this is August, believe it or not. Right, that's quite nice. The shower's all set up, as you can see. We're just getting some quick food on the go. Now, for doing stuff like this, especially when we do the filming, etc. This is so quick and convenient to do noodles. Yeah, noodles are great, and I think they're quite underrated for what they are. Recently I discovered that I got some from a company called Aldi here in the UK, and they're 18 pence for one pack, and I think that's pretty cool. The ingredients on the noodles are pretty good, nice and basic with no rubbish in there, and all you do is you just add your own spice mix or curry powder, etc., or whatever you want to do. But the flavour sachets that come with them, it's up to you, but for me they got too much rubbish in them, so we've binned them, and we're using our own mixes we do, and yeah, that should just keep us ticking over for another like 3 or 4 hours at least, filming some more bits and pieces and such. I must say it's really nice to get outside, and to test your skills. I mean, playing around with knots again, different shelter configurations. It's all been good, and obviously the age old, you're surrounded by green, which is very important because you can unwind, Right, we've got ourselves some firewood in case we fancy a fire tonight, and it was relatively straightforward, although it has been doing a lot of raining this morning, big time actually. Once it's dead and hanging up, with these winds it doesn't take long at all, and with a clean snap it's a sure giveaway. And lucky to find this big piece, just dead standing, and all I've done was just give it a medium strength kick and down it came, and that was nice. I chopped half of it with my favourite new toy at the moment. That's been an awesome piece of kit, that, seriously nice. I chopped it in half on site, picked it up the other half and hung it up in the trees to let that just keep off the ground so I can use it again. Taken that back and moved it over on that downs tree there, and used that as a bench really to chop it all up on. And yeah, I could have filmed it, but it's just a knife cutting through wood, to be honest, but it's no drama. And yeah, that should be the fuel for the fire tonight, no problem at all. Right, the 3 water bottle pouches. Every now and again I've just been having a drink because hydration is always important, as I keep banging on about. All it is the first one, 1 litre NATO bottle full of water, my heavy cover lid, which I'm just a massive fan on. That goes in the back there, out of the way. The middle one, again, another 1 litre NATO water bottle, and inside I've got my BCB Crusader mug, sits in there nicely. Okay, so the final one, again, we've got another 1 litre bottle of water and a titanium spork. I'm just trying it out. I'm usually using my knife, fork and spoon, my Swedish KFS set, but I thought I'd just try something different and take it out. So as a 3-part concept, it's pretty much covered really. Well, check out this mushroom. I've got no idea what it is, but it looks in brilliant condition, and it's huge. It's probably about 12 inches across by about 10 inches high. Wow. So what I think I'll do now is get my seat system ready. We've got our thermarest. I can't remember what it's called now. Had it a while. It's hasn't let me down yet. It's done pretty well. And for a long time coming, it's the Defence Force sleeping bag by Corinthia. Again, never let me down. And this is a Swiss military issue roll mat. It's an old trick. You just put it in there, move it around. It just gives you a padded area to stow all of your kit inside. Again, doesn't weigh anything. You can pick them up on eBay for around £10. And this, I've been looking forward to trying this for a while. Given to me by my friend Paul, Neanderthal 62 Outdoors. Thank you, mate. Looking forward to getting that down. This is, I believe this was bought from Aldi. Reasonably priced. It does appear to be quite well made for a ground reflector. As you can see on there, its main design purpose was for a car windscreen cover to reflect the sun, etc. But it will do a great job reflecting your body heat back onto you rather than letting the cold, horrible, damp ground suck all of your body heat out of you. So that's a ground barrier. There she is. Look at that, it'd be a great signalling device as well, wouldn't it? Dual purpose. And being 180, 6 foot, so it's perfect for me as well. It's a good size, and I think, you know, for the weight and the cost of these, it's definitely worth considering keeping in the kit. That's nice. And it also has a little sewn in lip, which will probably go over your roll mat if you're lucky, if it fits. That's the other side. It's quite durable. It's not going to smash up on you. Alright? Whether it'll last for years, it all depends on how you use it, I guess. But I'm just dying to see how it works. I mean, yeah, it's summertime at the moment, but you know, it's windy. It's going to be a clear night. The temperatures will drop, and the ground is wet. So you will be insane to just lay on the floor without anything at all, because you will lose a lot of body heat. It's not good. So let's see how we go on. Okay, join me inside. You see the 2 sticks there. Now I got this idea from Wayne, the Sergeant Fruitcake. You put 2 sticks in the ground, and when you go to sleep, you put your boots on top of them. It pretty much stops all the bugs getting inside, and of course, if you're outside, the rain won't go underneath and up into your boot. So it's a good idea. So I'm going to be doing that tonight for the first time. We've got our sleep system in place pretty much. We've got the reflective pad with the Swiss military mat and the thermal rest on top. And as I always do, I'll just put the big elastic straps around just to stop it all sliding around in the night. Now, because we're quite limited for space, what I decided to do was to take the side rocket pouches off of the pack. And it's just easy for admin, you can get to them, not a problem. And the BRECON is just flattened down there with the water bottle pouches, and the top case, as I've always done from years of old, is put the first aid kit in the top so it's easy to get to, and the sleeping bag, and that's just going to be rolled out, fluffed up just when I'm ready for bed. But until then, that can pretty much stay as it is. So I just like to get this sort of thing done now before it gets dark. This is just a chillax video. It's nothing to do with prepper training. This is just all about getting away from the rat race and unwinding. Right, we're getting the fire pit done. Because I just don't like, you know, like fires on the bloody surface. So we didn't bring a tool. We thought we'd see how we go on with just a stick, just pointed at one end, at one angle, and it seems to be doing really well actually. I mean, we are lucky that we had some rain this morning and it softened the ground a little, making this sort of job a lot easier to do. And of course, the best tools in the world are your hands. Absolutely. In fact, your body is the best designed machine on the planet. We'll talk about that later if I can remember. Interesting subject. Right, I think that's pretty much it. We ain't got to go too mad. Probably got it down about 4 inches, maybe 5 at a push. Now what I like to do is to try and bank it all on one end, not all the way around, because it's just quick and easy to drag it over. Alright? Well, that's how I do it anyway. I mean, everyone's got their own way. The wind's sort of coming from this direction, so what I might do is to get the stick and just to poke a hole, an air hole. That will just feed oxygen in there, and we'll get a better burn. But we'll look into that in a minute. But in a moment, I just wanted to get most of it off, so we can start prepping the fire. What I do like to do is to get all of this ready before it gets dark. We could even get some rain. If that's the case, if all of that firewood is broken down into manageable sized pieces, it can be stored under the shelter. If it's left in 5 or 6 foot length, it could be a bit of a problem. So we want to try and get everything we've done while we've got daylight and while we've got dry weather. All I've been doing is just twisting and pushing, and it seems to have done the trick. There we go. We've got a nice air hole to feed oxygen into
underneath. It's like a bow drill, look. Let's move him. Now you want to make sure that this is quite firm and it doesn't collapse. So hopefully that should serve us well.
Yeah, the wind's definitely picking up. Can you hear that? Right, let's cover the mic. So, what have we been getting up to? Now I've put the a great big piece of fuel on the back there. That's going to stop a lot of the wind just blowing everywhere. We've got another little smaller piece there which is going to dry out even more and just to get put on later date. In my experience, even if they are dry and they break easy, it's always best to keep them hot and warm, because when they're like that and they go on later on, it's so much easier. You don't get much smoke either because it dries it out properly. All I've done is I've just gone right to the bottom of the pit and I've just crisscrossed all of the wood all the way, just coming up and up and up. So there's loads of air matrices, if that's a term, to get through there. And I've just done like a pyramid, if you can see it, raise it up. It's just going to protect it a little, not a lot. And all I've done is I've got an entrance there where the fine stuff is, and I'm going to get my fire started in there. And once it's established, I can just push it all up and it should work, and it should heat up and burn down and catch. Well, that's the theory anyway. All of the earth is piled up in one place, as I said earlier. If it does rain, I'm just going to use my Gore-Tex jacket just to cover over the top, because we might get some showers, but it's not forecast heavy. Right, we've got firewood, or most of it, sorted, and also we've got the gloves just hanging around out there. Hello, little fella. You got a little friend. You've got a mallard to come to say hello. I thought there was something behind me. Oh. He's really not fussed about me. I suspect it's rooting around for little worms and things. I mean, I was only over there earlier, washing up my Crusader mug, etc. So maybe I've disturbed some of it, and it's all been sniffed out. This is another thing I like to witness. You know, when you come to these places and chill out, you can see some wildlife. Luckily, I just had to have I happen to have the camera rolling. Oh. I've seen loads, but unfortunately didn't have the camera ready. It's coming right close, you know. It's probably about 2 meters away, maybe less. Oh, look at that. Hello mate, you alright? I do apologise, I don't know if it's male or female. I should imagine you guys will say it in the comments, but along it goes. Right, I think I'll have a little lay down after all that. Whew. I always try and make it a rule really. Turn up where you want to camp and just do everything you can to get it all ready. You've got time to rest later, and later is now. Because you do need to, you know. It's hard work if you haven't got a manual job, and you know, you're constantly on the go, walking around, gathering firewood, chopping things up, you know, pulling things along, digging holes, etc. But it's the sense of accomplishment that I enjoy, I get from it, and always trying out different things and learning different things. Okay. It would just be a bit boring if you'd just done the same thing over and over and over again. You know, try and vary your kit, your setups, your environment, etc. The seasons. That's pretty much it, really. It's not hard. you know, most people can watch videos, remember what they've seen, and just go out there and give it a go yourself. That's what I did, and you know, if I can do it, pretty much anyone can, you know. So the only problem is, obviously, is the location itself. You know, trying to find permission from people who own land. You can go and do it in, you know, Forestry Commission public woodland, but it's the same old rule. You know, leave no trace. Don't wear bright colours, and don't use bright colours at all, because all that's going to do is draw attention to yourself, especially if you're making a noise as well. You know, a ranger could come over, a dog walker, the landowner himself, anyone could come over, and if they don't like the look of you or what you're doing, you'll be asked to leave straight away. So that's my advice anyway. If you're going to do it on public woodland, you know, just be quiet, wear earth colours, don't go putting blue and yellow tents up and wearing jeans and stuff. You know, try and blend in, and keep the noise down. It's one of the reasons why I don't like to use an axe, because it makes a hell of a noise. They're heavy. You know, I've got away with doing this sort of thing for over 4 years now. Never used an axe. I just haven't felt I needed to. I can fully understand some people, if they're in cold environments and you're going to need an axe to fell trees for fuel, to burn fires, to build shelters, predominantly in softwood areas, because you can fell pine trees and softwood very easily with an axe. It's a bit different with hardwoods, and it's not really advised unless you're strong and you've got a good technique, because axes are very dangerous. So that's my 10 pennies about you know, how I roll in the woods, as it were.
Right, Tom's getting on, and I fancy a coffee. I've got the Hexi stove I was going to do most of the cooking on, but this is just so convenient, so we're going with that, I think. Some of my new subscribers might not have seen this, but that's pretty cool. We'll be seeing that in a minute. So here it is. This is the Java press by GSI. Had it a few years now. Don't use it very often, but I fancy the change. A bit of a bummer to get out, but all it is, it's just a beaker, and that which has got a swaged filter on the bottom with a seal. So what you do is you put your coffee grounds in there, your hot water, you put that on, and you just press it down. Then once that's done, you got the lid, and you drink from there, and you got the lid to close it. Now you can't turn this upside down because it would just go everywhere, but if you keep it upright, that will stay hot for, I don't know, maybe more than an hour. I haven't tested it, but I should imagine it's quite a while, because it's all insulated and it's got a heavy rubberized base as well, so you can smash it about a bit, and she's still good. We got our freshly boiled water, coffee's in there. I don't usually have coffee this late as a rule, if I'm honest, but because we're outdoors and I won't mind staying up a bit late tonight, I'm going to treat myself, because this stuff is proper rocket fuel, you know. It's the old hot Java lava by Taylor's, and it's just going to do its thing in there. I'll probably give that about 5 minutes or so, something like that, and we can plunge it and we're all good. Okay, so that's been quite long enough now. I always love this bit. There you go, look. It's getting a bit dark, so we'll see how we get on. But it's a brilliant way to do coffee. It's so quick and clean. There's no filter papers or anything like that. It's just one big sealed unit. Now I'm just going to push that right down to the bottom. That's it. Consider it pressed. Now I hope I don't knock it over, because that would be a torn apart thing to do. Sorry mate. I remember when you've done that, and the remembrance vid, you know, it did make me laugh, and I know you laughed too. Give up sugar a few months ago, I'm on raw honey. Now this is all local stuff because I believe, you know, they're going to be collecting stuff from the local environment. And it's better for you because you live in that local environment too. Anyway, I don't want to bang on about it, but raw honey, guys, if you haven't tried it in coffee before, it's just absolutely beautiful. It seriously is. And part of me wants to eat that up right now, actually. I'll probably have about 2 teaspoons of this a day in my coffee, and that's all I'll have sugar wise, which is pretty good. I mean, this is probably going to be the equivalent of 2 sugars, but the taste is amazing. And if I'm honest, I got the idea from my mate Dell, Red Path Knife and Tool. I tipped him off about the coffee, and he said, I'm going to put some honey in mine, and I thought, oh, that's different, because I was using unrefined sort of almost brown sugar in my coffee, because I didn't like the idea of it messing around white refined stuff. So I tried the honey, and at first I was a bit unsure, but I don't know, probably 2 or 3 cups later I was hooked, and I still am, and I've been that way for about 2 or 3 months now, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So that's me. That's my super strong kick up the arse coffee that's going to keep me awake for at least another 4 or 5 hours. It's going to take me right up to past midnight. I'm hoping that the cloud breaks and we can see the lovely full moon, because she is nice when she shows herself, and this place comes all silver light everywhere. It's beautiful, especially by the stream. So we'll live and hope, but you never know. Cheers, people. Well, the coffee was nice, and guess what? That's another good idea that these sticks do. You can drain stuff too. That's a nice little multi-purpose idea. Nice one, Wayne.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was so funny what just happened. It's getting dark, as you can probably see, and it's getting really, really windy. We just checked the forecast, and we got up to 60-mile-an-hour gusts here on the south coast of England, and it's pretty exciting because you can hear the trees cracking, etc. So I thought, right, I'll put my top on because I've got an important part of the video to do now. So, like an idiot, I've pulled my zip up straight onto my beard. I'll have to remember that in future because I've never done it before. But no, this is serious now. There's a few of us in the community here in the UK who loved our friend Effie Jr. A little guy with a massive heart. We all decided that we're going to do a toast for Effie, and it's 19:29 now, just coming up to 7:30 in the evening, and we're all going to toast him at the same time, and that is quite special, you know, for a guy like Effie. If he was here now with all of this love for him, he would just cry his eyes out. I just know he would, because he's that sort of guy. He wore his heart on his sleeve. And like I've always said, you know, to you guys, don't ever be afraid to show your emotions, okay? If you want to cry, just cry. If you want to laugh, just laugh, you know? Don't worry what other people think. But when I done it earlier, if Effie was here, he would have laughed. So I had to sort of mention that. So on a serious note, we've got some Glenfiddich 12 in the hip flask. What can I say? Effie Jr. The little fellow with a big heart. Gone but not forgotten. Cheers, Effie. Wherever you are, mate. I hope you're at peace, and I hope you're laughing your bollocks off, mate. Thanks, guys.
Okay, so as we already know, the fire lay is pretty much done. What I thought I'd do is, making use of the last light before she goes, is to prep some fat wood to go in there. Now unfortunately this is all I got left, so I have to be really careful that I don't screw this up and use up too much. Now what I find helps with fat wood, if you shave it a bit, you know, it catches a lot better with a lighter, and you don't really need to use as much gas. Also, it's a good test of the edge as well, because as you know, fat wood is very hard and very resinous, and as you can see, this is just eating into this like it should. I just like to go on all the corners. As I say, when you got your lighter to this goes up a lot easier than if you've just done nothing at all. And I'm just big on preserving, you know, my lighter gas, my lighter fluid that I've got on my other lighter. It's just good practice, it's good sense as well. But yeah, look, it's a whole lot easier. Whether you can go to town with a ferro rod, I don't see why not. I suppose you could if you've done enough of them and you really showered them with sparks. I think it'd be great. The fat wood that I got from Rob in Australia, that was really nice. And what I've done is I've kept that in the packaging that Rob sent. It was like a sealy bag, and it still retained its real turpentine type smell over a couple of years. It's brilliant. It's really nice stuff. But unfortunately, where I camp and where I spend a lot of my time, there's no pine trees at all. It's all hardwood. And yeah, I know, I should make an effort really, and to find some woods a bit further afield, which has got loads of pine trees. It would just make life so much easier. You know, trying to survive in hardwood forests isn't easy. You know, everything's more of an effort, you know, prepping the firewood, it's hard, it's not as soft as pine, and you don't get the fat wood. The only benefits you do get, I should imagine, is the old birch bark. We got a bit of that now and again, so it's not all of a loss. So I'm just going to carry on feathering up these sticks, and I'm just going to put them into the fire lake down there. It should make it a bit easier to get this fire started. And I hope you can see that. It's not too bad at all. No sticky bits on the end, which is nice. Tell it's quite hard on the hands along there, and I know it's designed for, you know, ferro rod, but that is really got to go easy on that. It's just a part of the blade that I've always used to do this sort of work, and if I'm honest, I would prefer to use a scraper or a striker with a ferro rod. I don't like to use my knife with a ferro rod. I would only do that if it was like a proper survival emergency, because I don't know, I just respect my blade too much. I don't like to screw it up needlessly when you can get a perfectly good piece of high carbon steel to do all of the striking for you. That's just my opinion, you know. It is what it is. So on that basis, I would like it if that was rounded. It just makes it a lot easier where you're not going to be screwing your thumb too much. So there it is for what it's worth. Honest reviews and all that. No point bullshitting, because what's the point, you know? You've got to be honest. So that will go with the other one. I'm not going to use all four. I'm going to take the other two home because it's nice to have something. But I'm just going to use 2 instead of 4. I don't think we need 4, to be honest. That should be fine. Right, what we got now, it's about 20 to 9 in the evening, so it's getting on a bit now. Personally, I like to eat sort of before I go to bed, but I just need to eat soon, so I can have a nice beer and a cigar. And as made earlier, this is a veg chili that I knocked up a few days ago. Many of you guys would see on my Instagram channel or page, whatever you want to call it. Absolutely chuffed to bits of it. It's turned out really, really well. I'll put a picture on the screen now because I knew this would happen. I've done this sort of thing before, and you just can't tell, you can't see enough in the dark. Okay, so that's where we are at the moment. All we're going to do, this has already been cooked by the way, and we're just going to put that in our mug and just heat it up. Nice and easy really. Well, this could go horribly wrong, so we shall keep everything crossed. Some of the green and the colour on the top is just what I picked out of my garden. Oops. So it was just lastminute.com really. As I was getting ready to come out, I just went out there, picked a few things. There's rocket, spinach, there's some herbs as well. There's mint, rosemary, sage, oregano and a few other things. And yeah, just chuck it all on it because it's all good, you know. There's no point just growing it to look at. If you can grow food to eat, that's definitely the way forward to me. Well, it's typical, isn't it? You put the light on and every insect from Mars turns up to say hello. Typical that, isn't it? And I must admit, my night vision was pretty spot on until I turned that on. Now I can't see absolutely nothing at all. So yeah, we're just going to heat that up so it's nice and warm really. Oh, I do. I love that stuff. Yeah, this is going to do just a ticket as well. I'll have a little chat a bit later. There's a few things I want to sort of say. I don't really want to say it now. I'll wait till I've eaten all this first. Oh man, I'm looking forward to this. You wouldn't believe. Well, tell you what, it's sure great to be back, chaps. Ha! Proper, it really, really is. I wish I could do this more than once a month, if I'm honest. I'm getting the outdoor bug, you know. Stuck in four walls, that's no fun, man. Let's just get balls the friggin' hell out of me these days. I want to live out here one day. That'd be cool. There's so much stuff in there, to be honest I can't remember. Well, I might struggle to remember everything that's in there. There's chickpeas, there's sweet corn, there's garden peas, there's cannellini beans, there's red beans. That's pretty much the protein taken care of. We've got some bulgur wheat, we've got some quinoa, we've got some flaxseed, we've got some wheatgrass, we've got some chia seeds, salt and pepper, garlic, tomatoes. What else have we got in there? Oh, we got some bloody hell hot sauce as well. That was seriously nice. I'll put some Cajun spice in there, some barbecue seasoning. What else? What else? There's a few other bits and pieces. I can't quite remember. There's fresh tomatoes, the herbs, like I said earlier, and it really is. It's good eating. And what I'm trying to do is trying to get a good balance to what I eat these days. You know, it's not just carbs. You know, it's everything, and it's working really well. Lovely. Look at all this. Hey gringo, you want to buy something, man? Up in smoke, isn't it? Right. You probably won't see that in there, but I can't see much. Oh wow. Oh man, that's so good. Well, that was a dot already. The old fat wood and a lighter, no problem at all. I'm going to give that a minute or so and I'm going to start putting some more sticks on the top. it certainly makes all the difference, you know. It's complete darkness out here now, and the time check is 4 minutes past 9 in the evening, and we're all alone in the forest. I'm the only one here, apart from the animals, of course, because let's not forget, it's their place and I'm just a guest. So if you guys watching this who've never done this before and considering it, make sure you get yourself familiar with the sounds of the forest before you go on your own, especially if you're from an urban setting. You know, you need to know what sort of sounds deers make, foxes, badgers, squirrels, owls, all the rest of it. It just makes your mind more at ease. Some of them do sound like screaming babies and things if you're not familiar, so it can be a bit off-putting. So that's my advice anyway, if any of you people are considering the same sort of thing. Well, welcome back, chaps. You're watching this right with me. This is pretty cool, you know. When I do my solo camps, which I love with all my heart, there's always a friend in you with me, you know. It's cool. I mean, it's a different experience if I'd done this, didn't bring the camera along. I wouldn't have to worry about, you know, setting everything up and that. But it's a different thing, and knowing that you guys are there with me as well is really cool, you know. So I just wanted to say that before I forgot, and before I got drunk. No, this the fire makes it, you know. I don't think camping in a woodland without a fire, it's alright, but no, this is special, you know. If we're very lucky, we'll see the full moon. I doubt it now because it's very, very cloudy, but you never know, you never know. We live in hope, don't we? And of course, we're right by the stream, which is always a nice slow rate. It's nice and gentle. We don't want no raging torrent going down there. So it's very nice, very nice. And it sure is nice to kick back and unwind because, you know, as I said earlier, work has just been full on. We've got a little break in our overtime at the moment, so we're on basic hours. So the first opportunity to come along, that's it, mate. I'm out on my own, relaxing and unwinding. Can't beat it. Wow, this is nice. At long, long last, Funky gets his fire. Oh, it's bliss. It really is. It's nice and comfortable, and because of all that wind, and it really got a bit chilly. But that fire is just right. You know, when you get it just right, the right distance, the right sort of flame height and everything. Yeah, we're good. We're doing something right, which is always good. Now I've got a little list because you know what I'm like. Yeah, I'm not going to bang on about it because some people just get fed up, but it's part of what's happening to me. Having a real good go at being a vegan. I know it's crazy because many of you see me just shoving steaks down my Gregory Peck, left, right, and Chelsea. But you know, I got to that stage where I was just sick and tired of just being a fat lazy lump, you know, putting it bluntly. Before I started my YouTube channel, I had my allotment. I was very, very healthy and fit. What was I? I was just under 13 stone, 6 foot, I believe. Yeah, that was fine for me. It really worked, you know. I started my YouTube channel. I stopped the allotment. And you know, I got into long-term food storage, etc. And you know, work took over. The long and the short was I wasn't getting any exercise. I was working too much, very tired, and eating the wrong sort of food. And I just put on loads of weight, and I just got sick quite a lot. And I never used to get sick, and it used to wind me up. You know, I never got colds. And I think one of the reasons mainly was the grandkids come along as well, and well, you know what kids are like. They just sort of, my friend calls them super spreaders, because they'll get some illness and they'll spread it everywhere, and I was just getting sick all the time. As I got so fed up of it, so I started researching back into healthy eating again, and I thought I'm going to try doing vegetarian again, because I think I mentioned this in my update video actually, so I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself. Some guys might not have seen it, I don't know, but I'm just going to say it anyway, so sorry about that if it's a repeat. I done an experiment a few years ago, and I was vegetarian for 6 weeks, pretty much exactly, and in that time I felt so good, seriously did, and I wanted to revisit that, so I did. So I went vegan, one step further than vegetarian, and it's tough, it seriously is. If any of you who have had a little dabble in your personal willpower, veganism's a tough nut to crack, seriously. I do believe in, you know, people do have the power to do whatever they want to. The only thing stopping them is them. I used to smoke. I smoked cigarettes for 20 years. I stopped about 5 years ago now. I tried bloody smoke. I tried I tried patches. They were crap, didn't do nothing. The chewing gum, well, that was just rank, didn't do nothing. So I thought, sod it, I went cold turkey. And it was New Year's Eve, and I remember it right now, putting that cigarette out and stumping it into the floor, and I said, that's the last time I ever smoke a cigarette. And I even had 4 or 5 left in the pack, and I just tossed them into the bin. That's the last time a cigarette ever touched my lips. So the willpower's there, if you really want to try something, you know. The vegetarian thing, I haven't eaten. The last time I ate meat was at the prepper meat, as I said in the other video. But I've been vegan now for 4 weeks. 4 weeks is a long time. Eating meat for me at the moment isn't a problem at all. I mean, I couldn't care if I never ate meat again. Obviously, we never say never, but this is me right now. So meat's not a problem. I stopped eating eggs. I thought that would be tough, but it wasn't so bad. But the only thing that's really, really hard is cheese. Pardon me. Now, I'm a bitch for cheese on toast, or a grilled cheese sandwich, I think you guys in America call it. But man, that's tough. And I've tried a few vegan cheeses, which are dairy-free, obviously. Some of them are okay cold in a sandwich, maybe. But when you melt them or grill them on toast, it's disgusting. I just didn't like it. You know when you get a great big marshmallow and you toast it and the inside's all gooey and it coats the inside of your mouth? It's like that. It's just rank. I just really didn't like it. And the thing that concerned me is when I looked at the label. I mean, when I saw vegan friendly, one would assume that everything in that product is super clean. Alright? So I didn't bother checking the label, which is a big mistake. When I checked the label, it had modified starch in it, which is genetically modified, and that went straight in the bin. I don't eat that crap. Alright, so vegan cheese, that's a tough one. So that's probably the only problem I face at the moment. But some of you have been asking, how's the new diet going? So this is for you guys. I just thought I'd let you know some of the differences, and this was only in 4 weeks, and it's remarkable, really. This is my own personal experience. Let me see on here. My finger and toenails. Well, before I went to this diet, when I cut my toenails especially, they're very brittle. You just cut them with cutters and it would just go in a straight line and break straight off. The fingernails were a little bit better, but they were quite brittle too. So they've all changed. They just, as they should be. They're soft. They're like a chewy type fibre. You know, they're easy to cut. So that was very strange. The whites around my eyes are nice and white now, and before they were red, which is very strange. What else was there? I started to see Oh yeah, the skin. My skin. I used to have dermatitis, and I went over to pretty much chemical-free detergent for all your clothes. Obviously, the clean eating as well. I've got no dry skin whatsoever. My skin's just as it should be. And I thought, oh my God, this is just strange, you know. So there's some of the differences that are happening, other than the obvious. And the obvious being, in 4 weeks, I've lost 10 pounds in weight, and I've done no exercise at all, other than just walking a dog. But you know, that's basic. It's not really exercise. So to lose 10 pounds over 4 weeks, I believe is a good thing, because you're doing it slowly. You're not going to try and rush and get it all off. So yeah, I've lost a bit of weight, and I feel good too. I don't feel sluggish, bloated and knackered and can't be bothered and lethargic. That's all gone. You know, I do walk with a bit of a spring in my step now, which is awesome. So much so that that's led me to make a decision. I'm going to start running again. Now, when I was in the reserves years ago, it was down to ourselves to be in control of our own personal fitness, and I was in there for 3 to 4 years. I served as an infantry soldier, and I used to run about 3 miles every single night, and it was a breeze, not a problem at all. But you know, I was 6 foot and I was 9.5 to 10 stone, and it's quite easy to run with that sort of weight. But when you get up to 14 stone plus, it's tough, you know. So I'm looking forward to starting running, not tomorrow, the day after, because obviously I'm out here doing this. But when I finish work, that's it, mate. I'm going to start easy. I'm just going to do about 2 miles a night and work up to 3 miles and see how we get on. Who knows, if I'll get fitter than I expect to, I'll probably put a pack on and increase the weight as I go too. So that's all looking positive. So you guys who've been asking about the diet and how I feel and all the rest of it, that's just for you guys. I'm sorry it's gone on. You can skip past it if you're not interested. Yeah, just want to touch on this. It's a bit of a rant in a way, but not so. Pigeonholing. Since I've decided to eat this way, I have noticed that a few people have unsubscribed, unfollowed, not replying to comments anymore, and all the rest of it. And it's a bit sad, really, because you know, some of these guys I've known for a few years now. All of a sudden, they've just gone off the radar, and it's a sad one, really, because it's pigeonholing, and I just really loathe the term pigeonholing. You're either a meat eater or a vegetarian, or you're a vegan, you know. Or what else is there? There's preppers, all these bushcrafters. Everyone seems to sort of put people in pigeonholes. Once they're in pigeonholes, they'll just get, well, not picked on, but you know, they just get treated differently, I guess. It shouldn't be the case, but it's just how it seems to be, you know. It's the same, you know. You got Muslims, you got Christians, you even got pagans. You know, everyone just seems. If someone does something different than anyone else, and they're in a minority, the chances are they'll get picked on for being different. And it gets me a bit, because you know, when you're 18, you should be a grown adult, and if you behave like a child over that age, it's, you know, you just make yourself look a jerk, really. Oh, I can't believe I'm saying this, but you know, I said to myself I'd say it, and it's just one of them little things, really. And as I said in the other video, you know, health for me is my priority. What I decide to do with my time and my money is my business, and I just put my health as my top priority. Everyone's got their whatever they want to do with their money. That's fine. It's obviously their choice, and they can do whatever they want, and no one's going to tell them otherwise. It's just, some people say to me, yeah, but all that healthy food, it costs so much. And I'm thinking, well, I don't care, because I've put that as a priority. For me, that the human body is the greatest machine ever designed or created. And for me, I just feel like I need to respect my body now, after I've just been abusing it for years. And you know, that's been touched on lately. We had a guy at work, he's 57, and he was quite overweight, short dumpy guy, and he decided to do something about it, so he decided to do cycling. But his problem was he went a bullet a gate, straight in at the deep end, overdoing it, and the long and the short, he had a heart attack. Luckily it wasn't at work, but he got dealt with and he went into A&E, and he's been off work for 5 weeks. And you know, he come back briefly to say hello and everything, and I'll tell you what, the difference was amazing. He'd lost so much weight and he looked amazing. He looked like a different person, he really did. You know, where's the cuddly, laid back guy? You know, now he's just, I can't believe it. He just lost so much weight, and I didn't believe this. And I said to him, I didn't tell him about my diet, and I didn't tell him I was a vegetarian at this point. I said to him, "How did you lose all the weight?" He said, "Did you change your eating plans?" And he said, "Well, it's a recommendation from a doctor." I said, "What was that?" And he said, "To stop eating meat, believe it or not." I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, the doctors advised me I was eating far too much meat and just give vegetarianism a go." And he's been eating vegetarian foods for 5 weeks. He's lost loads of weight. And he hasn't been doing any exercise because, you know, on the recovery process from a cardiac, you should really go careful with the heart. And he's just been doing gentle walks, nothing major at all. So it's working for him as well. And when I told him, you know, what I've been up to, you know, in 5 weeks, that's a he couldn't believe it. And he said, "Yeah, but you eat steaks." And yeah, not anymore. And you know, and it's great because we're bouncing ideas of each other regarding food and recipes and the quantities of protein and carbs to eat, and get a proper good balanced diet. And it's been great, you know. So we've been helping each other through our sort of eating plans, as it were. So, you know, when all of these things happen, and I lost a friend earlier on in the year, he was overweight as well, and he had a heart attack, and that actually finished him. So it does bring home a few home truths, you know. I'm 44 now, and I've just decided to look after myself, and you know, I don't care what anyone thinks, if I'm honest. You know, it's my body, it's my life, and I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and it's working out so far, so good. So that's nice. Well, we're getting the flames up again, because what I want to do is get some of the main fuel logs over at the back there onto there. So I need to get that proper hot, and all looking good. Yes, it's that time before we have a drink. Obviously, it's Monte Cristo time. It's got to be done, right? Look at this, brother. Can't thank you enough. I'm in love with this. Why didn't I have one of these ages ago, you know? Keeps it in there. Cuts it clean. Can't ask for better than that. Look. See? Beauty. Out you come. Sorted. And here it is. It's number 2, which is always good. Happy days. Oh, that fire. Oh, that's mint. Oh, if only you could see that. Oh. Man, Monte Cristo's an ace. What a stick. Yeah. That's nice. And you're gonna love this. How wicked is that? I treated myself to a rather flash bottle opener. Celtic. Massively into Celtic and pagan stuff at the moment. It's just beautiful. Really is nice. I wanted something I could treasure and keep. That means something, okay? I've got one of the old bottle openers with the old corkscrew with the levers at home. It's just a pain in the arse, to be honest. So I thought if I can get something made of pewter, very, very heavy, Hits good in the hand, which is nice. And of course, it's hobgoblin time. There we go, we're in focus, good boy. I was in Aldi, as I said earlier. Oh, wicked. And got them noodles. But unfortunately, they didn't do the king goblin, they did the hobgoblin. So it had to be that instead. I mean, we love the king goblin because it's brewed on a full moon, which is out there somewhere. Anyway, cheers, people. You know what that's like. Wow. Rich Lone Wolf, if you're watching, mate, I can't thank you enough for getting me onto real ale. I can't drink that lager crap no more. Ugh, rank. Sorted. Man, it sure is good to be back in the hood. Wow. Poor old Effie. It's just thinking about him, you know. It's tough. Why is it always the good ones, you know? Such a shame. I mean, you know, the poor sod, he didn't have a bad bone in his body, you know. He never took the piss out of anyone. He was always kind. He was so generous. He didn't need to be, you know. We knew he had a big heart. He didn't need to prove it by sending Christ knows how many people gifts, and he really did, you know, touch so many people. Gonna miss you, mate. I couldn't believe it when Steve told me the news via a text. Oh man, it's so sad. And I was in shock a bit at first. I was off site from my work, and it was literally about a few seconds before the text came about the news that I was told that another old friend of mine I've known for years at the scrap metal place, he passed away a few months as well. I had no idea. It was a proper double tap, you know, and it's just been tough. It's been tough. It's hard to know what to say, if I'm being honest. Fuck cancer. No, seriously, it's taken so many people. It's a blow, you know. Anyway, I don't want to get too emotional about it, because I spent most of the afternoon after I found out the news on the Tuesday crying. And you know, my boss wanted to send me home. I said no, I've only got a couple of hours, I'll stick it out. And it was a bloody bad time, to be honest. You know, I was working and knocking the other people around me, just going about their work, you know, talking, laughing, and all the time I was trying not to show everyone that I was crying. And yeah, is a big miss, you know, is a big loss. It does make you think, you know. As time goes by, people will come and go, and Roach was right, you know. Roach has seen death firsthand a lot, and he's got a different outlook to me because I haven't witnessed death, not as much as he has anyway, and he just takes it in his stride and says we're just passing through. And I always felt that that's just a bit short and a bit heartless, but he was right. You know, we're stuck on this planet spinning around, and no one knows, you know, when we're going to drop off. And it's always a massive shock when people do, especially when you know them and you get to know them, you know, and all of a sudden they're not there. It's heartbreaking, really. And, you know, staring at the fire alone with your thoughts, out in this magical place. So sad. So, to our dear friend Effie, rest in peace, brother. Rest in peace.